Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by MiloTree. Here's your host, Jillian.Leslie.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of my interview with Kate Doster, email marketing guru, where we get really deep into sales. Here we go. Let's talk about sales emails.
Okay. So when we're actually selling stuff. Okay. So we had our list of our 200 people. We've been talking to the people who would talk to us. We have, registered the fact that, I use like this checklist every time I have to like big organize my house, because that's what people were really intimidated by, that their whole house was full of clutter and they couldn't get rid of it all. Some of it was somewhat mental. Some of it is they start going and then they lose steam. So we listened to everyone's problems. We got all of our stuff and we're like, you know what? I'm going to create just a room by room checklist, and it is going to say what to do and how often. So that way someone can just say, oh, it's Monday. Like I need to do this, or I can do this once a week. So that's what we're going to do. Great. So we have, throughout our email and on our social and on our blog, we've been teasing it out about it. So we can just start, with an email and really just explaining the problem. And since you talk to your audience or even a friend, if they're not on your email list, about it, be like, so I was talking to Sydney the other day, and she was saying that one of the biggest things that is really dragging her down is that every single time she cleans her kitchen table, it just gets cluttered again. Like, can you relate? It's so frustrating. You're like, I just cleaned that, and now there's no space to do anything, which means now they're eating in the living room. So you're literally just like telling a story. Guys, so which is why I've decided to create, and we can talk about naming things cool, but the quick, clean Serenity House Checklist. And tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how you can get it. Now, this is if you have not been talking about it at all. Before you sell, I always like to send one of those like pre-sale emails to kind of get them juicy and going. Yep. So you've read this story. It was really, really interesting. They definitely relate to the main character. You're not necessarily selling. You're selling the fact that you need open tomorrow's email. So then tomorrow's emails come, and again, you shadow back from yesterday, because sadly, not everyone reads all of our emails. We would wish. Right? So yesterday, I told you about Cindy and the kitchen table dilemma. Can you relate? Like a very short summary. Well, today, I'm going to introduce you to your new best friend, the Superclean House Checklist, which will give you day by day and person by person handouts, so that way your house is always as clean as it can be, and you can stop yelling at your family right. to pick up their mess.
Right. And could we pause for just 1 second? I fall into this trap all the time, especially, let's say, with MiloTree, which is we roll out a new feature, and I want to tell everybody about the feature. And where I am going wrong is I need to talk about the benefit, not the feature.
And what's really nice, and we're going to use MiloTree because, again, I'm a user and I love it. So what you can start with, and this is like in your pre-writing. So, if you do it, I'm going to Google Doc. So, say that you have, you can name a new feature, and we can actually role play this in real life that you want. But you're all like, so we have this ability where people can do blank so that.
Yep. So people, okay, here we go. We'll do it in real life.
Yeah.
People can pick pages on their site and either turn off their MiloTree pop-up, like let's say it's a sales page and you don't want this pop-up showing up. You can enter the URL and MiloTree won't show. Conversely, let's say you only want to show your pop-up on a certain page. You can have it not show on every page of your site except for the pages you want. Okay, so that is the feature.
I actually use this feature.
Okay.
that's why I'm so happy. I'm like, ooh, I can think of a million things. Okay. So we're just, because it's our own head. And guys, do this with your own stuff too, especially before you sell. And it's like, okay, so we can hide it from appearing on certain pages. So that, or like, so what? It's like, okay, so that means if someone is on your sales page, they don't get distracted. Yeah, so what? So that means that they stay focused. Yeah, right. So that way they buy. Okay. So if they buy, now you're going to make more sales. People want more sales, and you can keep going and going.
I love that.
So it's like, okay, so they get more sales. And again, you can go like,
then they get more money.
And they get more money. And the MiloTree is like, paying for itself. And like, it understands that you don't want someone to join your email list if they're on your sales page, because we want to keep people directed. Okay.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so maybe, like, because I'm sure you've gotten this request, or you yourself have noticed this as a blog owner and a business owner. So it's like, okay, and why would people want to have it on certain pages? So maybe they have their MiloTree set to a certain freebie that they have to join their email list, and say it is for healthy eating, but they also blog about like, exercise or like mommy tips. So stuff that's not so relevant. So this is really great for our lifestyle bloggers where it's like, are they really going to want my healthy eating stuff when they're looking for the best deals on fashion? Probably not. So this way you are not annoying the people on your site with things they don't need. Now you're showing that you're caring so that you're actually getting targeted people on your list. So that when you have a product to sell, you will be able to sell more because you are actually serving the need they have. So literally both times, because we deal with usually people who are pro bloggers that want to make monies and not offend their audience, both of those features now will help you sell more.
I have to, by the way, I love the way you're thinking about that. You're talking through this to the so then what? So then what? So then what? Because I will literally write something and then I'll go back and go, oh my God, I didn't talk about the benefit at all. And I like that you're pushing me to go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. Well, then what? And then I do this with my daughter, like she'll have a fear and I'll go, and then what would happen? And then what would happen? To show that there aren't really monsters, if that makes sense.
It totally does.
But it's that idea of like, and then what? And that I don't think I dig deep enough to the benefit.
Well, and a new way that you could do it, and this way I think you would actually love, is then like flip it. So in your email, you would probably start off with new feature. You can now decide which pages MiloTree shows up on. So instead, you could literally be like, we know how hard it is for you to get people on your sales page, and you want them to stay focused, intent, and ultimately slap your buy button, which is why now with MiloTree, you can decide what pages it's showing up when, so we can keep people on track and you can better serve your pocketbook and your audience.
Love it. Love it. I'm gonna. By the way, I'm going to go back and I will write that down.
And it's the same thing. And you can do this with anything, guys. Like, why does it matter that you have, checklist? Well, so that way you don't forget anything. Well, so that everything gets done, so that you don't have that lingering feeling in your head, so that way you don't think you're done and then have to go back and actually start again.
And I think also, exactly. And like, I find that you can go even deeper so that I have more time. So I have more time with my family. So I have more time for myself so that I can be happier in the world,
Right. Like that checklist is going to make it so you're not arguing with your kid constantly about picking up.
Exactly. And in fact, at the core is love.
Exactly.
So I can love my kid more.
Exactly. There's no tension. And you can blame the checklist. If they're like, Mom, I don't want to do it, I'm like, well, the checklist on the wall says you have to, so sorry, honey.
Exactly. So again, it's like going deep to those core things that we all want. We all want to love our families. We all want them to love us. We want to have enough money so that we can be loving our families and not worrying. So it's like, I feel like personally I need to push myself further and to really get at what is the almost like the benefit behind the benefit.
Exactly. Or again, with the MiloTree feature, since we're going to talk a lot about it because we both love it so much, you have it set to the subscriber like functionality. You don't want it to show on your thank you page because it makes no sense that you're asking someone to subscribe when they've already subscribed. So they're avoiding embarrassment by not having it on their thank you pages.
Yeah. Okay. I love this is terrific. So
it's like copywriting episode. It's okay.
Wait, say that again.
I said we can always come back for a whole copywriting episode.
Oh my God! But by the way, you are also a coach, so I feel like I'm getting free coaching right here. So thank you. Okay, so let's go back though to we're an organizer. You've gotten to the second email where you're starting to you did a recap of the first email that you sent. This is the first time you're introducing your product, and you're talking about the benefits.
Exactly. So again, this doesn't have to be like a huge mile-long email, but you do want to highlight some features. So what are they going to be able to avoid? What are they going to be able to gain? How is it actually delivered? That's actually usually like the end of the fact. So it's like, this is an electronic download, so it's instant. You don't have to worry about anything on the mail. You've purposely made it printer friendly because while you love those pretty printables, you do not love wasting all of your money on ink. So a couple of times throughout that email, usually I like to link to the sales page probably about 3 times. So usually when I am saying the product's name, because it does need a fancy schmancy name, I will have that just linked like directly. So like I have my course Love Your List. So anytime I say it in an email, it's linked.
Okay, got
Then
it.
you can have what I call a blatant sort of call to action. So what do you want them to do next? Where it's actually like the link and you're like, click here to snag your copy. Now, if this is the first time that you're releasing something, I always encourage people to start a little bit lower. So I know everyone's like, oh, like don't discount your stuff, but you want to give the people that have been around you the longest the benefit of like, you know what, guys, in 2 weeks, it is going to be $19, but since you are already on my e-list, you guys can get it for 10 as a nice. So the first time you're rolling something out, I always say put it for a little less. And then you can raise the price because then it also adds in that urgency where, you know, so the next email that you send will go right on to the series like you first introduce it. The next one, maybe you want to answer some frequently asked questions. And this can be like a couple of days apart, guys. I mean, I'm not going to say it's just a $19 ebook, but you don't have to sell it as hard as you would for like a $2,000 program or like my $5,000 coaching package. So what you would then do after that is answer some frequently asked questions that people have. Like it can be a little bit about the printer, but it's more so you want to think about your frequently asked questions on how you can disrupt that yeah but pattern.
Yes.
So like one of them is like, yeah, but I'm a clutter bug. So you want to answer any frequently asked questions. Like, so guys, I've been getting a lot of questions and you kind of know your industry about our, you know, fancy cleaner set. So question, and literally question, I am a complete clutter bug and cannot stay organized for my life. Is this honestly going to help me? And then you explain about how your system is specifically made for people who do not have the cleaning gene anywhere in their chromosomes. Okay. So what's another like, yeah, but question they would have? Yeah, but I can't get my family to cooperate, which is why we do have as an extra bonus, the colorful printer copies that you can put up in every section of your home to remind you and your children, did you check off your item for the day? And there's even spots for stickers because now we've added that, but my kids won't do this. So this is where you want to use it as opposed to like, how much does it cost? How many pages is it? Like that stuff can be at the very bottom of your frequently asked questions. Do you have a return policy? You know, how do I actually get it? So, you know, that's towards the bottom, but we want to answer those like key yeah, but objections first.
Right.
And then the next email after that, again, depending if you decided to do prices increases or not, I always like to give people a free sample of what they'll get because in the online marketing space, us cool guys, we like to call it foreshadowing, which is really, they're going to see what it feels like to actually have the product. So for you guys, if it's an ebook, maybe it's a couple of chapters, maybe it's one checklist if it happens to be different than your freebie, something so they actually get ownership. And in that, you know, piece of paper that you're giving them that free chapter, you're going to want to make sure at the bottom it tells people to go buy the book with a link to the sales page. So that way they're not like, oh, where did I get this from? It's like, oh, I really like this. So for my bloggers, because I know a lot of us now are doing a lot of more video courses. That's my zone if you can't tell because I love talking so much. Like I will actually let people in my class platform have like one free lesson. So like they're literally in the environment. They can see the quality of the video. They can hear me talking. They can download the PDF. But if they click to go anywhere else, where are they going?
To your sales page.
And I'm still helping them because I'm still giving them value that other people are paying for. But since it's such a little sliver, nobody else who already bought is mad.
Okay. Got it.
I mean? And then
but you are giving value.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one, if you decide just to raise your price, you can do it and be like, okay, guys, so tomorrow, you know, it's going to be $19.99. Popping in to let you know if you did want to save this money because you've been talking about it for a while now. It's here. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going anywhere. Like kind of like reassuring people that even if they don't buy, you're still going to be popping in their inbox, you know, weekly, bi-weekly if you're really stretching it. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been on people's list where they'll put you through a sales series like that and then they'll just never talk to you again. Or like they'll only talk to you and they have like something else to sell. And that's a problem. Sell like money wise, guys, not like the fact that we're awesome. So that's just something
Yes.
to think about. And again, you're not going to do those all the time, but that's just how you can start building momentum and hype. If other people had already purchased, then you want to, take little screenshots of people that bought, shout them out, just really make anyone who purchases feel really special and go ahead and weave those into your emails as well.
So a couple questions. How many, so let's say I'm selling a $10 product.
Okay.
How many emails total would you put in this sequence?
Okay. Are you doing it like live, or are you going to have it like going constantly all the time as well?
Well, that is my next question, which is this idea of a cart and an open cart and a closed cart, and what are your thoughts on that?
Okay. So we can definitely talk about that. So something that's small for an ebook, usually I say definitely anything, honestly, under $100, probably just leave open. Okay. So with those, you do want to make sure that occasionally in your weekly newsletters, if you're sending them in real time, that you are mentioning you have this product. Because somebody, you might not have had your first sequence set up when someone subscribed, and they might not even know your product exists.
Right.
So,
would you mention it in every email?
Not in every email. If I like to do a lot of like themed months, so I won't necessarily come out and say to my list like, oh, it's productivity month. I mean, in February I did, but in my head, I'll have set themes for the month of my email, which is the same as my blog, guys. Giant shocker. So if I do have a product that relates to that, in one or two of the emails, I'll talk about it.
Got it.
You can throw it in sort of in the PS, like, PS, if you're really struggling with organization, don't forget to check this out.
Got it.
And
That's
then,
great.
Another email in that series, if you really thought to yourself, I really would like to make more sales of this $10 ebook, then maybe you want to feature a student who bought it or someone who was happy, or a tag on social media, something like that.
Okay. So then, So if I'm selling a product, $100 or less, I should keep that open all the time. Now tell me then about open cart, closed cart.
Okay. So open closed cart, the reason why I say it needs to have a higher price tag is really if there is a live component. So I know some huge bloggers, and I'm sure if I name their names, you guys will be like, oh, I follow them, where they have larger courses that are, again, that $3, $4, $5, $100 mark and beyond. And they'll leave it open all the time, but they have more advanced software to like take away the course, because having just like something for $2,000 just like sitting on your site, people know it's always there. There's no like added urgency to purchase. So,
and by the way, that concept is called scarcity. We respond to things when they are taken away from us. It makes us go, oh! And again, it's part of like FOMO.
Exactly. The fear of missing out. So like my signature course, it is open closed cart. So it is like absolutely everything I positively know about email marketing, writing, copywriting, creating easy yes offers. It's what I call little digital products. And so that I only open a couple of times a year because I really pour into those students.
And how much do you charge? How much is that course?
How much is that one? It's usually $197.
Okay.
But it's going to go up because that's another thing. Every time I launch, it goes up.
Ooh,
again,
okay.
Start lower and then just sort of go from there. I'm not like going to skyrocket it, but yeah.
Okay. I know and how many times a year do you open and close it?
So it is actually just opening in April for right now. I don't know if you guys are listening to this in real time, and this is actually its first launch. And with nothing, y'all, I sold 40 spots. So it can happen. It can happen, guys. And my list is ginormous. So it's having its official launch in April. And I
just have to stop. It's Kate.com.
Yep.
DOSTER.com. Just putting a little plug in there. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So Love Your List and loveyourlist.co. That's the name of the course. So that's opening up in mid-April. And I think that it'll open up again. We might have like a pop-up sale in the summer, but it'll definitely be like closer to like September as well. And we'll see how it goes. But like I have, other, people call them passive income courses, like ebooks. I have a set of email templates that's available all the time that we make sales on every single day. My little mini course that took off and I never saw it coming was called Trolling for Traffic. That dude sells every day. So those are lower price items, but I really poured myself into them. So then when my big things do come up, people just buy.
And did you make this course on Teachable?
I am crazy, y'all. Do not do this. I actually built my own course site using a plugin called Access Ally. Now, it is
Okay.
expensive, it is cumbersome, and if you're not good at like web design and like tech or have team members to handle that, I wouldn't advise it. I did it
Okay.
because personally I like you guys, I like the back end of things. But for like 98% of people, I will say either go with Teachable or Thinkific is actually my favorite choice because they
Okay.
will house all
Perfect.
your videos, their PDFs. They're not as pretty as Teachable, but they pay you more promptly. So that's why like all of my students, I'm like, don't do what I did. Like, it's a headache, y'all. It is a headache.
Okay, that's good to know.
Just go to like Thinkific, and Thinkific you can sell, and Teachable, both of them, very respectable. You can sell your ebooks through them if you're choosing to, or you could do something like Send Owl is another one, Get DDP, or like Get Digital Products. That one will sell it. But if you're going for any videos, then I would definitely go for Thinkific or Teachable.
Perfect. Great. Okay, so your cart opens. So how could you just briefly go through your sequence from cart open to cart close? And how long is that window?
Okay, so always be testing. That's another fun thing that you guys will find. So for this launch of Love Your List, since it's inaugural technical launch, it is 8 days. I don't know if I'll do one that long as well, but like I have been talking about this course and prepping for it for like over a month. So I am very, very different. No offense to other online marketers out there, and that I am a straight shooter. Like you guys heard with that disingenuous comment about, oh, send the wrong link just so you can get higher open rates. No. So like I literally told my list, like, this is what I'm doing. Here are my launch dates. Here's my time. Here's what I'm doing. And I'm using it just as a case study to show people, and they really reacted to it. Now, your industries might be a little bit different, so you might need to get them in the right frame of mind to be thinking about it. So if you're a lifestyle blogger and you are going to sell a product and organization for some strange reason, there's that crossover, then you want to like the month before or like maybe 4 weeks leading into that, really start sharing content and concepts around what your bigger course is. So that way people are in the frame of mind and you're not just slapping them with this offer from no time. So that's like pre-launch. It doesn't have to be a lot of stuff, guys. I know a lot of us, since we're bloggers, we have huge archives. So it can just be you revamping old pieces around that topic. So like if you're going to sell, a Pinterest course, then all of your Pinterest posts on your blog, you are going to make them nice and shiny, and you're going to hit that resend button to Google and just make them great. And then that's what you can start talking about to your list, and then you open your cart. So there's a lot of work if you're doing an open close and it's a higher priced item that goes in before. So that way when the cart's actually open, it's not as much work.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. So throughout that launch, like when the cart's open, it is about like building hype and really showing people that they're making a right decision and that they need to be decisive.
And so are you sending emails every day?
Towards the end of cart open, I am going to be, but I'm going to be sending one at least every other day. So like the way that this particular launch is structured, and this is, again, when you guys get to the stage, don't think you have to do this for a little book and not a little book, just your first product. Do not do this. Okay. Don't be defiant. So what I have in there to add extra urgency and scarcity, as we talked about, is I have different milestones in my cart open. So for example, my cart officially opens on a Thursday. Odd, I know, but that's the day I picked. On Saturday, I have a bonus that's going away. And I made sure it's a really great bonus that everyone would be like, what? I need to have that. So that gives me a reason to email on that Saturday and be like, look, like this masterclass that I'm running, it's going away. So if you want it, you got to buy it now. Okay. So that's going away. For this particular launcher, though, not for every launch, I do have the price increase because I wanted to give early birds. So there's another reason to email. The price is going up. And then mid-cartist launch, so say on that next Wednesday, because my cart closes on a Friday, I have one more disappearing bonus. Because what ends up happening, especially if you guys do these live launches, is you'll get a lot of sales at the beginning and a lot at the end. And in those mid days, you might get no sales whatsoever. And don't be sad, because that happens to everyone. Everyone will say that. And then those last couple of days, that's when you're really sending those emails. Some people send 3 times a day. I wouldn't necessarily send 3 times a day to all of my list. I would definitely have like 2 scheduled. And the third one would be to people who I can tell from my email service provider who have clicked on the link and gone to the sales page, but
Yep.
for whatever reason didn't buy.
Yep.
And just like let them know, talk about some things about the yeah, but questions, like we've been talking about, reiterating
Yep.
them.
And
If
I
there's-
like to call that like friction points, like
Yeah.
points where there is friction, and you want to smooth that out so that people will buy.
Exactly. Because the worst thing that you can send, guys, is like, say your cart's closing on a Friday. You don't want your emails on, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to be like, there's only 48 hours left. There's only 24 hours left. There's only 12 hours left. There's only 2 hours left. Like, that's not a really good selling point. You need to think to yourself, why wouldn't have someone bought at this point in time? What do I need to address? And that's how
Yep.
you're always going to keep it interesting and fresh. That, one of those emails could be a case study of a student. One of those could be, like we talked about, our sneak peek of the course. One of them could, really be talking about like some other things going on. And then, a couple of them could be like, oh yeah, and the cart's closing.
What I really like about this is you've got your product, but then you are coming at it from all different angles with your email.
Yeah. The way that I like to think about any product, and I don't know how nerdy your audience is, but if you all ever...
I'm nerdy, so go
Okay.
for it.
So if you guys played, and I got this, I think it was from Lifehacker ages ago. If you guys ever played Mario, you know how you get that little flower and it makes you like super big and you can shoot fireballs and it makes you amazing?
Yes.
Your product's the flower, but your person's Super Mario.
Okay,
So
explain that.
you want to show them how awesome they are going to be after they get your product.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, your product is just a catalyst. You're not selling them on your stuff, as much as that sounds. You're selling them on the relief and the after.
Yeah,
'Cause
so that
your
again,
person is always the star. And when, again, you always put your people first in your mind, you'll be able to address those things that, 80 other % of people who sell the same thing you do don't. So you stand out, because a lot of people only scratch the surface.
I love that. And again, it goes back to the benefit behind the benefit behind the benefit. And at the core, what you're saying is it's the purchaser feeling good about him or herself
Yeah.
and feeling like a star, feeling like they've solved, like their life is better.
Mm-hmm.
They are better. Their relationships are better. Like everything is like bright and shiny.
Yeah. I know a lot of people tend to come at marketing with like, if you don't buy this, you're like a stupid idiot face and you're going to die alone and your cat's going to eat your face. That's not the way that I do my marketing at all. At all. And it doesn't need to be that way, guys. It doesn't need to be that way.
Okay. Right, but it's the opposite. You buy my product, your life is better, you're better, everything's shinier,
Exactly. And here's one email that I think most people would never send, because people don't typically tell you this sweet insider information for free, but you
love
guys
it.
all should know, is you need to be able to give your subscribers or your audience some forgiveness. Meaning not like forgiving them for not buying from you, not that. For themselves. Because when you address the fact that, look, I know that you're reading other organizational sites. I know that you probably have a garage full of container store stuff. I know that I'm not the first person that you have come to make this problem stick. That's exactly why I created my fabulous organization toolkit the way that I did. And then they're like, oh my goodness, she gets me. Because go figure, the person that gets them is the one that gets their money, guys.
Yes.
Show them that you get them. And, I always talk about a lot, and in my course, Love Your List, we talk about it, about like treating the symptoms. In business, you'll hear a lot about people like, oh, like spinning their wheels. Like, what does that physically look like? Well, for us, myself and Jillian, it is people like stalking their competitors' websites in the middle of the night in the dark rather than working on their own product. That's what spinning a wheel looks like. It is trolling in Facebook groups to answer questions when really they should be working on their own stuff. You know what I mean? So like, how does stuff actually show up? And you'll write the best emails ever, guys. Best emails ever.
Okay, so what you're saying is talking to all of our fallibility. From a real place. Like
Yeah.
I'm confessing in this conversation where I fail.
Yeah.
So if you say to me, I bet you're not selling the benefits because we all fall in love with our features. I get it. And here's how so that all of a sudden I go, oh, she totally gets me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a failure. I'm doing this thing and I'm trying, but I might not be like hitting the mark. So you're just going to help me get there without being judgy.
Yep. You just weren't given the right tools. You weren't given the right methods, but this is going to give them to you.
Right. Totally. And to be honest with you, I always find like when I can confess my sins, I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you're not judging me or making me feel bad, like I should have known this, makes me feel good.
There you go.
So, oh my God.
And when you make people feel good, they'll give you their money, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Like that's what everyone was like, you just make it seem so approachable and fun. I'm like, well, because it is fun.
Right,
like,
right.
It's all just a mentality that you go in there with it.
Right. It is about if you can lift somebody up.
Yeah.
Then they will pay you to make them feel good.
And of course, if you have 100 people on your list, and you're like, oh, well, those, I don't know, 70 other people could say you had an amazing close rate, didn't buy. Like, that's fine, guys. It's okay. We'll still help them. We're still going to get more people. Like, that's what I think some people will forget. Like, they'll launch one thing once and they'll be like, oh my goodness, like I can never launch it again because only 5 people bought out of 1,000. Well, between now and then, you're going to get more than 1,000 new people.
Right. So how often do you recommend people open and close a cart? How many times a year?
I think that it depends really on you and your program. Like, obviously, some people, maybe they could tie their courses to different times of the year. So, for example, most people there's like, I'm going to just name names. So there's like Marie Forleo, and she has B School, and she just does February. I think she's playing a little bit off the fact that like people have New Year's resolutions, and January, February is a nice time to start with your business. Then you've got some people like Todd Herman, who does 90-day year. Again, these are very high priced courses, and he does his twice a year. And he does it again, like that December where everyone wants to be better. And then he does it, mid-year in like June or July. So that way people are like, first half of your year didn't go that well. That's why it's this. One of my friends, she does hers about 3 times a year. So almost with the seasons, kind of avoiding summer. But this is where it comes to like knowing your people. I don't think that I would do a full-fledged launch of Love Your List, at the very end of November, beginning of December, because that's when my audience, even though my courses are substantially lower than most, aren't ready to invest that much in themselves then. But like October, September is a really great time. If you're helping, PTA parents and back to school moms and that sort of thing, like know your person's cycle.
Yep.
And again, you make these a big hoorah in your house. So, how much can your family withstand? I wouldn't say do a giant launch, every single month. Like that would be crazy. You can do little promotions here and there, obviously, but usually for big launches, no more than once a quarter. So no more than once every 3 months.
Great. Oh, Kate, this has been so rich, so deep. I feel like I have learned so much from you.
Thank you.
So thank you for the free consulting session. I'm going to literally go back and write all this stuff down. So please share how people can reach out to you, how they can learn more about your course, how they can, your blog is filled with really good information.
Thank you. All right, guys. So the very first way and the best way to get in contact with me, of course, you can go over to my general website, Kate.Doster.com. But I want to make sure, since you guys are podcast listeners, that you are actually listening to my podcast. So I have a weekly podcast called Inbox Besties. Go figure. We talk all about email marketing, all the goodness. Occasionally we have guests come on. So definitely, like right now, while you're in your podcast player, search for Inbox Besties or just my name and it'll show up. I'm sure we'll have a link in the show notes. So you definitely want to get in on that sweet action. But if you're worried and you do not know what to send your email list, I have 2 years worth of email ideas. They work for any industry. They're just prompts. If you head on over to Kate.Doster.com /2 years, So literally just the number 2 and then right next to it, the word years. And that'll give you that. So you don't have to worry about what to send your list till 2020, y'all. Which is pretty exciting stuff, just saying. And that's completely for free. My course is called Love Your List. And if it's not open right now, guys, which it might not be, you never know, you can head on over to loveyourlist.co and get on the VIP waitlist. So I have a couple of extra goodies for people to hold them over through launches. Occasionally, I will do like a little like pop up, like, oh, it's going to be coming out. Like you guys can get a 1-day sale as opposed to the rest of my list who wouldn't get that. So those are probably the best places to get a hold of me. KateDoster.com/2 years. And then, of course, the Inbox Besties podcast.
Wonderful. Well, Kate, it has been such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you
so much.
So much.
And we've only scratched the surface. Like I said, I could literally talk about this all days. All days. Every day.
Well, we'll do a part 2.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Hopefully this got you really excited about growing your email list. So sign up for MiloTree, the MiloTree pop-up, because you can grow your email list. It's GDPR compliant. And from the same pop-up, you can also grow Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest. So head on over to MiloTree.com, and if you sign up now, you get your first 30 days free.